Hello, in this video we are going to be making a cookie cutter from some sort of image or silhouette that we find online. We're going to use a software called Inkscape. It's a vector type program that allows us to trace things, convert it to a SVG file that would then convert into Fusion 360. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Google things like silhouette, whatever your choice is. We don't want too fine of detail. If you do that for a cookie cutter, and it's not going to work out too well. Anyways, I've searched up a fat star silhouette, and I need to open it into the preview, and then I'm going to right click and do open image in a new tab. Okay, this is in Chrome. If it's in another browser, it may look different. Okay. So once we have this, we are going to right click and we're going to copy our image. This is in Inkscape. What we're going to do is just right click and we're going to paste, and it will paste the image that we have. Right now it's pixelated. So if we were to zoom in, we would see very big pixels, and it's not good for, the uses that we need it. We need it to be an SVG and not a pixel. Okay. SVG is a kind of a mathematical equation that maps out the very outside edge, and then it fills it, but it's not like this square and then that square and that square, like a pixel or a raster image. Okay, with this image selected, so it's got to have the box around it. So we click on it, and then we're going to go up to the top. We're going to do path. We're going to do trace bitmap. Okay. My version, it clicks like a live preview. I could update it. You adjust the brightness cutoff. Like this is how gray it's going to be, or how light or dark it's the threshold or the cutoff. If I want more grays included, I'll increase the threshold. If I want like less, I bring it back off. Okay. So all I have to do is just keep that there and then click OK. Okay. It's kind of changed its view. You would think this box would close, but it doesn't. So you have to like close it out when you're done. I'm going to click and drag, and I should have two images here, the original one and the vector file. So if we were to zoom in, we should be able to tell which one is the vector and which one is the old pixel. So here, this is a pixelated, and then this one's smooth. Okay, so we're going to zoom out. You do that by holding Control and using the roller on your mouse pad. Okay, I've got this old image selected, so I'm going to press delete. I don't want to import the other parts too, so I'm going to erase this. Your eraser size, or your eraser is this pink thing right here, and I've just made the width a little bit bigger. Okay, that looks good. If you click on it, like it should like only include the image. If you had like a piece left over, it's going to make the box bigger. Okay, so we've got this here. It's on our page. And now we're going to save as. So file, save as. And right now it's going into my downloads, which is fine. I'm going to call this star 2 because I already did one. And we're going to change it from Inkscape SVG to just plain SVG. Okay, click save. Inside of Inkscape, we are going to create a new sketch. So the top left, new file, sketch. I'm going to click this plane. And what I want to do is I want to draw a box for how big I want it to be. I find it kind of difficult to scale it after it's in, so I'll scale it as it imports. Okay, now for this cookie cutter, I believe I want it to be 90 by 90 millimeters. So we'll just make a box here and just type in 90, then hit tab, jumps to the other one, 90 as well, enter. Okay, so this is the size, kind of the max size that we want our cookie cutter. Okay, all right, now up in the top, I'm going to do an insert, and then I want to insert an SVG. Okay, it's going to ask where it's coming from, and these are my projects that I have on Fusion 360. But we want to insert from the computer on the bottom down here. So click this one and choose the star 2 and click open. Okay, right now it pops in and it's off to the side. If you're like zoomed in and you don't see it, Zoom out a little bit, see if it's there. If that doesn't work, maybe it didn't really trace it or it wasn't correctly in SVG. Okay, so we've got different little toggles we've got on here. So we can grab the arrows to move. So if I want to move up, I'll grab this one. I can grab this one. I believe these are flip, but I haven't tried. Let's try it. Yep. Oh, it's a rotate. There we go. And then this half curve shape thing, this is our move. Sorry, it's our scale. Okay, so if I grab this and I pull it in, it's going to shrink. I'm going to just try to keep it inside, just barely inside this. If I grab this box right here, this is the move. I'll move it in, and that looks good to me. So I'm going to click OK and insert the SVG. That looks great. And then let's actually don't finish sketch yet. My box is going to get in the way, so I'm going to trim it, and I use that using the scissor tool. If you don't see it here, it's going to be in modify. It's trim. Okay, so I'm going to erase all these, get rid of them. Okay. Two things. One, we want to make a thin extrusion when it comes down to it on this one, and we want to do an offset for the flange that hangs off the edge. Let's start with that offset, and that's in modify. We click here and then hover over the line until it turns all blue. And then I'm going to drag it out, and I want to, let's type 6. Sure. Good. Okay. This is enough to get started. You could do a small offset, but I've had trouble. It just doesn't recognize it as a face. So I'm going to do finish sketch here, and I'll show you how to go from there. Okay. It's best to get the size first, so you don't have to scale it later. Like, we want it to be exactly how we want it in the final product. Okay, so we're going to do an extrude. Okay, so we've finalized sketch, if I didn't say that. And up on the top here, instead of doing our usual extrusion, we're going to do this one, that's thin extrude. Okay, so if we click on that, it's going to only extrude just a single line. So instead of having a whole face, we could do just a line. So I'm going to choose this spot right here, that line, and we're going to pull it up 16 millimeters. Good. Okay, my sketch has disappeared, but I still need to do the other one, so we're going to go back into our sketch. So kind of show the sketch, and then click the eye right there. Okay, last one is we're going to extrude the flange. So we'll click anywhere on this flange, and then we're going to go up as well. So it'll do a little overlap. I only want it to go up 2 millimeters. So drop that down. Make sure that when you extrude it, that this operation is going to be a join and not a cut or a new body. Okay. We want it to be all one piece when we 3D print it. So we want to join. Okay. Okay. I'm going to click OK. And that's my design. There is an option if you were to have like detail on the inside, you could do that. You wouldn't raise it as high because you don't want it to cut out. But maybe if you had like a gingerbread man and you want to indent the face, you could raise those separately. The only trouble is you need to put in some strips in here that would bind it together and hold it to keep it from falling apart. Okay. All right. We are done in here. You might have an option that you may want to do the little bit of the chamfer on the edge just to make it a little bit sharper, but this is just fine. This will be great. Okay. So we're going to export. So going to utilities and then the make, and we'll click on this body, and I'm just going to check the send to the 3D printing utility, which is my Cura, which is just fine because I don't have anything else that I need to export with it as well. So let's head out and then I'll pause. We'll meet you in Cura. All right, in Cura, just make sure that it's on the build plate, somewhere in the middle, not too close to the edge. Okay, and then you need to just make sure that it's touching the build plate on the bottom. Okay, let's slice it and preview as usual. Preview and zoom down. And you know what? I made a mistake. I actually wanted this only 0.8 wide, but this is okay. It's going to be okay. If it was 0.8 wide, it would only be 2 extrusions wide. But that was when we did the thin extrude. It did a 1 millimeter. It just has a little extra. That's okay. All right, so that looks great. Send it to the printer and you are done. And we'll catch you around. Thanks. Bye.